Alright guys, welcome back. We're on chapter 8 of Jocko Willink's Way of the Warrior Kid, Where There's a Will novel. Alright, today started off really bad in jiu-jitsu, but it ended up really good. Sometimes when we trained without a gi, which is the jiu-jitsu uniform. Sometimes we trained with it. Both ways are fun. Lately we've been wearing our uniforms more for training because the tournament at the end of the summer was with a gi. Today, we were training with a gi, and at first, it was not fun at all because Danny was destroying me. Here's just a little example of what a gi looks like without a gi. He was fast and strong, but he was also really good at jiu-jitsu. He usually knew the defense to every move that I tried on him, and how to do it, and he knew the defense really well. When he started doing moves on me, it was a real problem. He always made me think he was going to do one thing and then he did something else. When he did get a move on me, he was so strong that it was really hard to escape. So Danny was all over me. I was rolling the best I could, but he was always a little bit ahead of me. When I tried to pass his guard, he swept me and ended up on top. Then as I tried to sweep him, he passed my guard. As I tried to replace my guard, he mounted on me. From there, he started to choke me, and as I defended the choke, boom, he put me in an arm lock and made me tap out. That worked better than I thought it would, he said. Better than you thought it would? Really? I thought to myself, Danny always acts like everything is luck or like he really isn't good, which I don't like one bit because that means I'm even worse. Let's go again, I said, determined to do better. Sure, Danny said with a smile. That smile. It annoyed me like crazy. We shook hands and started again. This time, I shot in for a takedown and got it. I put Danny on his back, but I ended up between his legs and his guard. From there, I looked to get around his legs so that I could do a submission on him. But before I could really make any progress, he sat up, lifted his hips, and sent me sailing through the air back to the bottom position with him mounted on me again. This time, when he went for the choke, I was more careful with my arms too. Too careful. By the time I actually tried to defend the choke, it was too late, and I needed to tap again. That choke works well, Danny said to me. I know it does, I thought to myself. I was getting frustrated, so I took a breath to calm down. I knew I could do better, and I thought of an idea, my secret move called the loop choke. Let's go one more time, I told Danny. That's a great idea, Danny said, still smiling. Of course he was smiling. He was crushing me. We shook hands and started again. I made Danny work hard, but I kind of let him take me down. Then he was in my guard. I grabbed his gi collar by his neck loosely so he wouldn't suspect anything. You see, in jiu-jitsu, there are a lot of moves that you can do where you actually use the gi against your opponent. There are ways of grabbing the gi that help you take an opponent down, trap their arm, or even choke them. The loop choke I was about to use on Danny used his gi against him, but I didn't want him to know the choke was coming, so I grabbed the gi very tight. I didn't grab the gi very tightly at all. Then I let Danny start to pass my guard, which means get around my legs. To do that, he sunk his head down on my chest, but he didn't notice that I had snuck up on his gi under his chin and onto his neck. So here's some pictures of the movements. Getting a little technical with the jiu-jitsu terminology. Then, just as he started to get around me, I reached up around his head with my other hand, grabbed my own sleeve, and squeezed. This was the loop choke I had. I had his neck caught in the loop of his own gi, and I was closing the loop. It was tight. I felt Danny start to get tense. He hadn't seen the choke coming. He tried to pull away, but couldn't because I was holding him behind his head. He tried to drive forward, but that made the choke tighter. Then I felt him panic. His body jerked around, and he put one of his hands up in my face as he tried to push me away. It did no good. This choke was tight. He struggled a little bit more, but I held on, and then suddenly, he had enough and he tapped out hard and fast. I got him. I let go and Danny looked up at me. I didn't know what he was going to say. I'd finally beaten him. That was awesome, he said with a big smile. Thanks, I said, surprised at his reaction. He says, wait, you're glad I beat you? What move was that? How did you do it? He immediately asked. That caught me off guard. That meant that he had no idea what I'd just done. He didn't even know what the move was called, and obviously he didn't know what the defense was either. Then I paused and thought to myself, If he didn't know what it was, I'd be able to keep getting him in it. Eventually, he would be able to figure it out, but for now, I thought I might as well keep this a secret move for me. I'm not really sure. It just kind of grabbed onto your neck and squeezed. Wow, well, it worked. Great, whatever it was, Danny said. Thanks. When I looked over, I saw Coach, who had been watching the whole thing. Luckily, he hadn't heard what I told Danny, so my secret was safe. And I'm sure Coach was proud that I was able to beat him. Bring it in, everyone, Coach Adam said to the class. We all gathered around him in the center mat. Listen, he said in a serious tone, we have a big tournament at the end of the summer, and we have a lot of kids that will be competing. I will have a lot of work to do as we train to get ready, and a lot of work the day of the tournament. I need some help, so I'm going to pick a team captain to help me out. That was awesome, I thought to myself. I might be a team captain. The team captain will run practice, help keep track of equipment, and help warm everyone up at the tournament. I'll pick a captain not just because of jiu-jitsu skills, but also because of attitude and leadership. I'll choose a person who's a team player. Any questions? Coach Adam asked. No one said anything, but I was excited. Okay, then bring it in, Coach said. We all circled up close and put our hand in the middle of the circle. Victory on 3, Coach shouted. 1, 2, 3. Victory, we all yelled. Victory was our gym, and I was aiming to be its captain. Mark looking to step up with his leadership. All right.